Alright, what's up everyone? This is NinjaDeathStrike bringing you another Pokemon TCGO battle. This is a fan request. Jay Fanderful commented on one of my videos, one of the Machamp videos, and asked if I could show off a Lilligant deck. So I didn't forget. I remembered, it just took me a couple of videos to get it ready, and so I'm going to show it off. I named the deck Rage Quit. And I have actually 3 videos here. That's why it's so long. The first 2, though, are just proving that the deck lives up to its name. And then the third one is awesome. I realize this video is going to end up being super long, probably like 30 minutes or something, but it's worth it. This is one hell of a match, the last one. So the first 2 I just put up here to give me some time to explain my thought process behind the deck, and something for you guys to watch while I do that. So as I said, the deck needed to focus on Lilligant, so I wanted to make sure that that was the main attacker, and I didn't want anything else to outshine that. So started with Lilligant, and since Lilligant thrives on using status conditions, Vileplume was an obvious next choice, since the Trainer Lock prevents people from playing anything like a switch, to get out of it. Once the active Pokemon is statused, it's stuck with that status. It's not going to get away. So Lilligant and Vileplume were pretty easy decisions, but I did have a little trouble deciding on the third Pokemon. You can see here that I ended up going with Kingdra Prime, but I gave it a good bit of thought because I wasn't sure what I wanted to pair up with it. I didn't know if I wanted, another attacker or a supporter. Things like Roserade came to mind. It's obviously can do status as well, or even things like Beartic or Cobalion to further disrupt my opponent. But I didn't want those guys to be the focus of the deck. I wanted the focus to definitely be on Lilligant. And one of the problems I've had, because I tried to build a Lilligant deck before, and it was okay, but not great. And the reason it wasn't great is because Lilligant is very susceptible to revenge kills. Yes, it can trap something in an active spot and wear it down slowly with horrible, horrible statuses, but after that, it can't really do anything to protect itself. That thing dies and then something else just comes in and revenge kills it, because it only has 90 hit points and it's pretty easy to take out. So I wanted a way to stop that, and that's how I arrived upon the idea of using Kingdra Prime, even though I knew it was going to make the deck pretty slow since I needed 2 stage 2s under Trainer Lock. It also gave me the ability to control when my opponent's active Pokemon dies. Thanks to the Spray Splash ability of Kingdra, I can set them up so that the poison damage from Lilligant's attack will kill them on their own turn, and they have to promote something else before they get a chance to attack. And so that way, Lilligant doesn't ever get revenge killed. It just keeps taking things out in a line until everything's dead. The only downside is that they are able to retreat out of it, but since big basics are so popular right now, any deck that doesn't have a very consistent means of energy acceleration is eventually just going to run out of steam. So I basically designed this deck to take on big basics and just slowly wear them down until I'm able to take 6 prizes, hopefully before I run out of cards. So you can see right here, this was actually a pretty good matchup. The Electrode Kyurem deck, after I take out that first thing, when they explode, they can't accelerate their energy anymore, and there I take out Voltorb before it even becomes Electrode, and my opponent quits. So now we get into the real match. I was hoping to play against a big basic deck, anything that uses like Kyurem, Terrakion, Cobalion, the dragons or the musketeers, stuff like that, because that's where my advantage is. If I got paired up with Reshiram or Electric, I probably was going to lose since retreating is not a big deal to them. But luckily, this is my third match. All these last 3 matches that I showed happened right in a row. The first 3 that I played with the deck, so I made a couple of minor tweaks, I think, but it's basically the same. And so I'm going to end up mulliganing the first turn, which, kind of sucks, especially because I run a ton of Pokemon in this deck. A full Lilligant line, a pretty heavy Vileplume line, and then the Kingdras as well. So really strange that I ended up mulliganing here. And apparently he's going to take a while to look at the cards, or the game's going to take a while to load, but luckily, I think on my second turn, things turn out better. I have a P-Till and an Oddish, so that's nice. And I also have a Lilligant, so I have the chance to get a turn 2 Lilligant. If I can go first, that'll be really great, because I can start debilitating his guys as soon as possible. Unfortunately, I don't have a collector, so until I get Vileplume up, that Oddish is going to be a sitting duck on the bench, and I'm just going to have to hope that I can either protect it or get some more down there. And he flips over the cards. I lose the coin toss, unfortunately, but I do see that I'm playing against big basics, so this is exactly the deck I wanted to showcase against, because I think it's going to allow me to show exactly how my deck is supposed to work. So he attaches a Rocky Helmet right off the bat, which kind of sucks for me. And he also puts on a Metal Energy, and that's not good either, because Lilligant's attack only does 20 damage. So if he gets 2 Metal Energies, I literally can't actually hurt him with anything but status. So I am going to play this N here, just because he used that interviewer's questions to get all that energy. I didn't want him to have access to that, so I play the N knowing that there's a good chance I'll be able to get into a Lilligant anyhow next turn, since I run so many. I actually end up drawing into my Cleffa, which is nice. I don't like that hand, and I want to start getting set up, so rather than go for the Perilous, I'm just going to retreat and eke up a new hand. And there we go. I get another Lilligant. And I also get a Horsey, so I'll be able to potentially have Kingdra Prime up pretty soon. And now we see another Steel Energy come down. So that is definitely not good. It means that I can't actually hurt this Cobalion with anything but poison. So I do have a turn 2 Lilligant, though, which is nice. I'm going to put some pressure on him early. I had the option to eke for another hand here, and that may have actually been a decent choice, thinking about it now, because I really need to get Vileplume up before I start attacking, but I get a little overeager here, and rather than go for the setup again with another Eek, I choose instead to attack. But you see, I do draw that entire Kingdra line, and so that's what convinced me to hang on to the hand and just start attacking now. I decide to play both of the Horsies, since I'm not safe from a catcher just yet, and then I go on the offensive with Lilligant. So I flip heads, which is great. With the Lilligant, if you flip heads, it paralyzes and poisons the opponent, and actually, thanks to those 2 Metal Energies, I do not activate Rocky Helmet. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's how it's supposed to work, but it might say, if you do damage, that then you take the damage, and since I didn't technically do any damage, I didn't get the recoil. So that was really nice for me. He's going to play another interviewer's questions here, get a ton of energy again, and this time I don't have a way to get rid of it, because this deck really thrives on depleting your opponent of energy. That's the only way they can get out of the lock, is to pay to retreat, and that's only if they're not paralyzed. So it would actually be nice to run maybe a Victini in this deck to make sure they stay paralyzed the whole time, but since it's not working, that wasn't an option. So he's going to get a bunch of energy and then sit for a long time and think about what he wants to do. And there we go. You see why Vileplume is so important. He's able to switch out and break the lock. But he does have to switch into that Terrakion, and that thing has a massive 4 retreat cost. So it is not going anywhere anytime soon. And since he decides to attach the energy to Cobalion rather than Terrakion, I am in no danger. It's also convenient that Terrakion has a grass weakness, so I'll be able to hit for 40 instead of just 20, and that'll speed up the process of taking down this monster a little bit. So I flip a Tails, but even on a Tails flip with Lilligant, it does confuse So, you know, he doesn't have any energy anyhow, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still nice to have a status on him. He's going to plop another Terrakion down on his bench, which normally would be a little bit risky since it would be catcher bait, but since I play Trainer Lock, I don't use catcher. And look at that, I top deck a Vileplume, which is fantastic. I didn't have another way to get it, you know, no PComs, no trainers, but now I've got a Kingdra Prime and a Vileplume up on turn 3, turn 4, and that is amazing. That's basically the exact setup I want. All I need now is another Lilligant to be ready to go if this one gets taken down. So now I get the head flip on the poison, which is really important. I need at least one of these to be heads so that I can use Kingdra Prime to allow poison to be what ends up taking this thing down rather than Lilligant's attacks. So he's paralyzed and poisoned. Now that Trainer Lock is down, he cannot switch out of it. That Terrakion is not going anywhere. So now we get another Cobalion coming down. Steel energy on that. And Iron Breaker is kind of going to be a blessing and a curse here. If he does manage to pull one off, it's going to mean that I can't attack, but it is also going to mean that it doesn't kill Lilligant. Lilligant has 90 hit points, so that's just out of the range for an Iron Breaker KO, and that's going to be absolutely vital in this match. So here I check Terrakion's HP. He has 100 damage right now. So what I'm going to do is actually hit him with a Spray Splash and then end my turn. I'm not going to attack because the entire purpose of this deck is to have your opponent faint his Pokemon on his turn. And you'll get to see perfectly right here why that's so devastating. You know, I pass on the attack, I do 10 damage with Kingdra, 10 damage from poison, and now Terrakion's at 120 damage. He's going to end here, which is actually doing me a huge favor. I didn't have a supporter, didn't have any way to get out of that hand, and drawing up a new one is going to be great for me. So I get a Kingdra, get a Professor Oak, Twins, which it looks like I may not be able to use this turn since I am actually going to draw First Blood. Kind of surprising for a Vileplume deck, but there you go. And now he's going to think about what he wants to do. I think he kind of realized what was about to happen to him, but there's no way to dodge it because of the Trainer Lock. So Terrakion dies to poison on his turn, and that means he's got to promote something else, and it's going to be my turn, so I get to attack. So Cobalion comes up. That's, you know, he didn't send up the one with all the energies. He's probably going to try to save that one for later. I'm going to go ahead and evolve my second Seadra and then just play Professor Oak because I don't need any of that other stuff. I need a Lilligant and a Kingdra at this point. So when you're playing with Lilligant, you want the opposing Pokemon to be on an even amount of HP. If it's on an even number, that means that it will die on your opponent's turn rather than yours. So rather than hit the active Cobalion with a Spray Splash, I'm going to go ahead and hit the benched one. Since it's got all those metal energies, I want to add the extra damage this way to soften it up so that poison takes it down a little bit faster. So I flip heads on the first attack here. That means paralyzed and poisoned. That means he cannot get away. I think he sent up that Cobalion with a plan to pay those 2 regular metals to retreat it back and attack with the active one, but he's not going to be able to do that this turn. Instead, he's going to sit there and take poison damage. So now active Terrakion's at 40, I believe, and I don't really have anything to do here except play a Sage and hope to hit another Lilligant. So I do, however, hit my only Blossom, so I'm going to choose to save that just in case I get it up later, and that is actually going to prove to be a pretty important thing later. You'll see when things start going a little bit awry for me, but for now, I'm still doing okay because he can't attack as long as I keep flipping heads. But unfortunately here, I flip a tails. That means that he's only confused, and that will give him the option to retreat. Unlike Terrakion, Cobalion's retreat cost is only 2, so he'll be able to get rid of those energies. He actually plays the DCE here just to retreat, I believe. keep the steel energies on Cobalion, and he's going to send up the other Cobalion with all that metal and hit me with an Iron Breaker. So that's going to mean that I cannot attack with this Lilligant next turn, which kind of a problem because I don't have another one right now. So I'm going to get End again. That kind of sucks since I had that Sage. I would have liked to play that down and hopefully get another Lilligant going here, but luckily I draw into one with N since I don't since I haven't taken that many prizes. You know, I still get a decent sized hand of 5, and that's going to be just what I need because I can evolve into Lilligant number 2, retreat Lilligant number 1, and now I can attack again and do something terrible to this active Cobalion. I'll go ahead and attach that grass energy just because I may need to retreat again. You know, if he switches these Cobalions back and forth, he can do that for a while. Eventually he's going to run out of energy, but it looks like he's got a lot for now. So I hit the bench Terrakion, like I said, just to get it at an even number of HP so that I can take it down with a Lilligant later. And then I flip a Tails, so I do not have this active one poisoned, which is really essential. I only have it confused, but that's still maybe enough to make him think twice about attacking. You know, if he attacks and hurts himself, he's gonna put himself closer to being taken out with either a spray splash or a poison damage when I do eventually flip ahead. So he's building up that bench Terrakion here. That's the only thing that's capable of taking out Lilligant in one hit, and so he is going to discard 2 special metal energies in order to retreat back to Terrakion and knock out my Lilligant. So now I'm in a bit of a pickle. You know, I have one Lilligant ready to go, but it's got 80 damage, so any amount of damage is going to take it out. I decided I better go ahead and bench that second P-Till here, and hopefully I'll be able to get another Lilligant charged up in a turn or two. So right now, I feel pretty comfortable in giving up a prize if I need to in order to get a better hand. I didn't really have anywhere to go with that hand. This one looks a lot better. I got another Lilligant, I got a grass energy, and if he does actually end up taking out Cleffa, I'll be able to use twins. So that was the thought process for why I chose to Eek rather than go right for the attack. And here I'm going to wake up. So that was really great. Let me get set up behind Cleffa for a turn, and now I've got 2 Lilligants ready to go. And meanwhile, with Kingdra, I'm just going to soften up again that benched Cobalion. I guess I hit Terrakion here. Not sure my reasoning for that. Maybe because I realized it's the only thing that can Oko me, so I figured it was more important than the Cobalion. But now I decide to Eek again, and this time I don't think that was the right move. I think I probably should have gone on the offensive. You know, I have 2 things ready to go now, and I got a little bit greedy. I wanted to get the other Kingdra, which I did get, but it's going to end up biting me in the butt a little bit because you can see he's not missing any energy drops. So the more energy I let him pile on, the greater the likelihood of him being able to retreat. So I really should have attacked that turn. I think it was definitely a mistake not to. But anyhow, that's what I chose to do and can't be undone now. So I'm going to start pounding the most damaged Cobalion twice per turn with the spray splash. You know, eventually I might actually be able to take it down without even needing to attack it or have it come active. So now Cleffa decides it's going to wake up, and that means that he is going to be able to knock it out with Terrakion and take his second prize. And he's got a lot of energy back there in his backfield. You see he attaches that DCE to Cobalion solely for the purpose of being able to retreat out of it when he needs to. And he also has a ton of cards in his hand. So here I choose to promote the damaged Lilligant. I just figured it wasn't as valuable as the fresh one, so I don't know. I don't think it mattered a whole lot, but the fact that Cleffa woke up right then and there is kind of inconvenient. I'm going to think about what I want to do here. I decide to spray splash the the beefed up Cobalion. Alright. Oh no, I guess I hit the other one. I'm not sure. Did I hit one each time? That was dumb if I did. I don't know what I did there. That was kind of dumb. I should have just focused on one of them, and I probably should have taken out the one with 100 damage. Maybe I hit both of them and I just missed it, but it looked like I split up my attacks there, and that was kind of dumb. So now we see another DCE come down. I didn't play the N either. That was also dumb. Wow. Fail turn. That allows him to retreat and send up his damaged Cobalion, which it was a really great move on his part. You know, it was going to get knocked out on the bench without getting to attack. So this way, at least he gets to use an attack with it. And since I have sent up the damaged Lilligant, he's going to be able to take a prize. So not a great turn for me. I think I kind of bungled that one pretty badly. I lose one of my Lilligants, and now I've only got one more. I think I had to discard a P-Till with a Sage, and I had not put a Flower Shop Lady into the deck yet. At this point, I have since added one. Just because of this match, you know, this Lilligant is basically my last main attacker. If it goes down, I'm shit out of luck. I don't have anything else I can do. So I attach that Grass Energy, then I decide not to. I want to see what I can draw instead. So I go ahead and play a Sage, and I'm going to grab Pichu just to have a free retreater on my bench. No danger of a catcher, so it makes sense to have someone there I can send out after a knockout and mull over my options. And then I grab the Twins, since I'm losing now. So before I attack, I definitely want to do Spray Splash. I can hit this active one for 10. That's going to take it out. Let me take a prize. And now he has to promote something else that is going to get either poisoned and paralyzed or confused. So I'm going to go ahead and hit... Let's see, what do I hit? I hit Terrakion. I probably should have hit Cobalion, but whatever. You know, what's done is done. I do decide to attach the Grass Energy to Gloom, because at this point I realize I may actually have to attack with Bellawesome, because I'm out of Lilligant. Once this one goes down, if it goes down, I don't have another attacker, and I don't have a multi-energy to put on to Kingdra right now, so Bellawesome may be my only chance, which is kind of scary. And I also have that N that I really want to play, because look at how many cards he has, but I can't play it just yet because I need to get Bellawesome down so that I have a meat shield, and then I can play the N and take him down to just a couple of cards. So I flipped the heads there on that attack. That was great. It's going to put Terrakion perfectly in the range where it will die on his turn next time, I believe. And so now I can play the N. All those cards get shoveled back into his deck, and he only gets to draw 3. So at this point, I'm really hoping to start wearing him out of energy. You know, he's paid 2 huge retreats. He discarded 4 energy to retreat with Terrakion, and he's retreated with Cobalion once or twice. So I take out that Terrakion with a Spray Splash. That means he's got to promote something else to get status, and he chooses to send in Tornadus. Since Tornadus has an odd amount of HP, I hit it with the second Spray Splash, and now I can go for the flip, hopefully to paralyze it. If I confuse it, not really going to do me a whole lot of good, because he's got that energy. He can just retreat to Cobalion and hit me with an Iron Breaker. So, unfortunately, I flip tails, and now I'm just going to hope that he doesn't draw any energy. You know, once this Cobalion is dealt with, all of his energy is gone, and that's basically going to be the end of the game for him, because he won't be able to retreat out of my attacks anymore. So I get Iron Breaker, though. That's unfortunate. So now I kind of need to think about what I want to do. Luckily for me, I have Bellawesome charged up, so I'm going to attack with Bellawesome. Yes, that's the plan. I checked. He's got a bunch of energy on him. I don't even know what Bellawesome's attack does, so I had to read that. It's flip 3 coins and it does 30 damage for every head, so I think he's still got a special metal energy attached, so it's only going to do 20 damage. I'm going to go ahead and use Bellosom's Poke Power first. That's going to heal 10 damage from everybody. And now I'm going to play the other Sage. I checked my deck there. It's getting really thin, but I needed an energy. Bellosom could go down at any minute, or it could get Iron Breakered. I have to be able to attack next turn. And thanks to Bellosom's Poke Power, 10 hit points have been healed from Lilligant. That means I will be able to attach this multi-energy to her, and she will survive with 10 HP. So now I go for the Petal Dance. I only hit 1 heads. That's going to do 20 damage to him, 20 damage to me, and it puts me to sleep, which is not really a big deal. Unless I stay asleep, that could be kind of bad because I won't be able to retreat next turn. But I think... I don't remember what happens here. He just goes for an Iron Breaker. It would have done the same amount as Energy Press, so no reason not to go for it. But since Bellosom's retreat cost is only 1, I'm able to slip out, send Lilligant back in, and much to my pleasure, he hasn't drawn into any energy the last few turns. That N really set him back. Nothing else on his bench is ready to go, so I should be good here. My main concern at this point is actually decking out. I've played 3 Sages, I think, so that's 15 cards off of my deck, plus a couple of ends where I think I ended up negative as far as the shuffling goes. So my biggest concern is, am I going to be able to take 3 prizes before all of my cards are gone? And it's looking like it's gonna be close. I need an N. That's really my only out. If I have an N, it'll let me shuffle a bunch of cards back into my deck, hopefully stave off the deck out until I can take the last half of my prizes. So I'm gonna retreat here, and I think about what I want to do. I actually decide to send up Pichu. My reasoning here was that I wanted to play that Twins. I think about using Playground here, but I don't want to get stranded with him sleeping like I did with Cleffa and then end up decking myself out because I couldn't attack. So I check my deck here. I only have 5 cards, and I'm just going to end my turn. And the reason I just chose to fodder out Pichu was that it will allow me to activate Twins, and my plan was to use Twins to get an N and use N to save myself from decking out. So that was the plan. It was actually a pretty good one, but it doesn't exactly work out, as we'll see here in a minute. So Pichu bites it. The Sacrificial Lamb does its job, puts me behind in prizes, which is actually, oddly enough, what I wanted here. And now I can play a Twin. So I look through my discard pile here. I play 3 N in this deck, and I see that only 2 of them are discarded. So that means I've got 1 more, which means I should be able to take it with... oh, wait. It's prized. Well, that sucks. And you know what else sucks? I have to take 2 cards. So I've just cut my lifespan in half. With that move, I now only have 2 turns to win, or at least to get an N. Luckily for me, this Cobalion is at 100 damage. That means that 2 Spray Splashes are going to take it out, and oh my god, I draw my N. I had a 33% chance to pull it. I just happened to pick the right prize. I don't know why I decided to take that corner one, but worked out perfectly because now I have an out. I've got a shot to win. I got really greedy with those Sages. I realized that was happening, but I felt like I didn't have a choice because of Iron Breaker. I had to get energy going, and so that's why I chose to play the deck down so low. The move with the Twins was really dumb. I should have realized before that my other one was prized, but I wasn't paying attention to what I had left in my deck, and it almost ended my game right there. So it's still going to be pretty close. His guys have a shit ton of HP, and I do 20 damage a turn. So, you know, even with the N, I still might be in some trouble. If he draws some more energy, I could potentially be in trouble because Tornadus only has a retreat cost of 1, so if he gets 2 more fighting energy, he can come in with that Terrakion and ruin my day. But hopefully I'm going to prevent him from doing that right now. He hasn't played any energy, so I know that all those cards he has in his hand aren't energy. They're going to get shuffled back into his deck, and then he only gets to draw 2 since he's taken 4 prizes. And the chances of those 2 cards being energy are not great. So hopefully that's going to be enough to stave off Terrakion coming in. He actually needs 3 energy. He needs 2 fighting for Terrakion and 1 more to retreat Tornadus. So I'm looking pretty good here. I draw into my Sage again, but definitely not going to use it this time. All the energy I have is on the field, I believe. So there's no point to dig for anything. You know, this is what I need. This is what I have to work with. Nothing in my deck is really going to help me out anymore. So I think there might be a multi-energy in there. I wasn't paying attention. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm going to do some quick math, figure out if it's safe to put damage on this Tornadus. And what I realize is that it's okay to put 1, but not 2. If I flip the heads here, he'll take 20 plus 10 from the poison. That'll put him at 100, and that means he'll die to poison next turn. So I only hit it with 1. If I had used 2, that would have knocked it out, and Terrakion would have come in and potentially revenge killed me. So thanks to some quick mental math, save that from happening, and now Tornadus is paralyzed. He can't get it out of there, can't retreat it. It's going to die on the next turn, which is huge because it means that Terrakion cannot use Retaliate for 100. There's the multi-energy. I knew I drew it at some point, but it was prized. It was not in my deck. So that's nice. Not exactly necessary. I didn't need it to win, but it is going to help me out a little bit. So now I'm feeling pretty confident. You know, I've got this game where I want it. I've completely destroyed his outs with N. I have my last Lilligant up. I'm able to take prizes at my leisure with Spray Splash helping me out there. So I'm just going to start loading damage onto this Cobalion, because if I can get it at 60 damage, I can drop that multi-energy onto a Kingdra, retreat Lilligant, and then just finish the game with a dragon something or other. Dragon spray, maybe? So I get the Perilous here. Awesome. He can't get away. Poison is going to put him at exactly 60 on his next turn, and that is going to be absolutely perfect because it means I can take him out. So he has no outs here, no energy, just has to pass. I drop the multi-energy, and I think I check and then double check Cobalion's health just to make sure, because I don't want to do something stupid and then accidentally lose the game. So I go for Spray Splash here just to be safe. I don't know. I was just really nervous that I was going to screw up somehow and lose this, but turns out I don't. I finish off the last Cobalion, and that's going to be the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. A really, really awesome match. Thanks for the Lilligant suggestion. I had a ton of fun with this deck. It surprisingly worked, and I think it's even legitimate, even with a working Eviolite, since it relies on those statuses to do the damage, not really the damage from the attack. So definitely fares well against these big basic decks, which are so popular right now. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave me a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of the deck. And stay tuned. I'll have more coming your way shortly. Thanks, guys.